Hello, welcome to September 21st, 2024. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation. This is an exercise that I do every morning, a little bit after waking up. Today it's a lot of bit after waking up, to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. By the way, if you see this on YouTube, you can get or on X, you can get a copy of Going Alone, a PDF from the links below. I also used the time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with the challenges and the opportunities that I met. I plan for the coming day and I ready myself for it. Make sure that I'm ready to die in case today's the day. Okay, while I make my coffee here, let's think about yesterday and last night. It was a good night of sleep, and yesterday was so busy, chock full of stuff. If I wonder what I'm going to do with myself in retirement, I think I've got half the puzzle already solved. I have this list, and I've waved it in front of you before, of things that I do every day. And when I do them well, it takes literally half the day to do. So when I get to Japan, and these are very constructive things, these are things like writing in my journal, making this video, making YouTube shorts from my old content, creating products to add to my online store, updating an article on X, and et cetera, et cetera. And if this stuff can constitute half of my day when I do it well, then I can already see how half my days in freedom will be used. I'll wake up at 4 a.m., which is my usual time, winter, summer, whatever. I'll get busy on my list because this is the list. I prepared this list of things to do specifically, and I've been curating it for a couple of years now with the idea of two things. One, of making good use of my time, making sure that I'm doing good things throughout the day, things that are good utilities towards my ends, which, as you know, are the improvement of the state of virtue in the world. Highfalutin way to say it. I say, helping to facilitate less pain in the world. So I've developed this list and curated it very carefully over the years, and it's quite fine-tuned right now. Although I'm not adhering to it as strictly as I would like, because I'm not getting up. I'm not staying up at 4 a.m. I wake up at 4 a.m. and lately I've been going back to sleep, and actually considering that a pleasant thing to do. But that would then leave me the other half of the day, which I think I can make good utility as free time. So I think the plan is already then in motion and set. All right. Yesterday, was it a good day? I did all the stuff I needed to do on my list. I went to town. I did the shopping. I went to a new restaurant for lunch. It's my one indulgence every week. Living out here in the desert, I have nothing to spend money on. I'm very good and frugal. In fact, I come well under my budget every week. I always allow myself to have lunch out when I go to town. I go to town usually on a Friday or a Saturday. And I went to an Indian, Tibetan place that I saw called Zen in Temecula. And boy, was it good. That food was amazing. And I really enjoyed that. Unlike most, I'm usually not one that enjoys meals. I don't eat. Dining out for me is like going to the gas station. It's just getting fuel in the system. Although over the years I've learned to enjoy it a little more. But yesterday's meal I really did enjoy. I just put down the phone, didn't look at the phone. I just soaked up the atmosphere, the painting on the wall, which I believe was somewhere in the Himalayas of mountains in a little village, and enjoyed the great service. The waiter was really good. I even got his name. I even wrote it down so when I go back there I can say hi to him, because I found out he works there on the same days that I typically come around. Rudy, come here. It's okay. Come here. The boys are rambunctious. You've already been out and walked. What is it? So that was that, and then I came home. Oh, and then when I came home, I picked up the dogs, and I took them to Julian for just the most spectacular drive. And Ollie sits on my shoulder with the window down and the wind blowing, and I make sure that the window's up just enough so there's no chance that he could slip out the window. And he likes to stick his head right, not out the window, but right next to it. And the marine layer coming from 50 miles away on the San Diego coast, the marine layer, the ocean, cold ocean air in big clouds was spilling over the coastal range like a great waterfall. And it was getting closer, spilling over, and it was like a great wave coming at us as we came through the valley there. I'm out there by Warner Springs. And then finally, by the time we got to where Julian was, back up at 4,600 feet in elevation, we were in the clouds and they were moving amongst us. So I parked the car, I leashed up the dogs, and we walked through town. And I had a sweater, so I wasn't too cold. And the boys were nice and warm with their fur. And we walked through the town as the clouds swirled all around. I saw all the people that I know. And I kept my phone in my pocket and I just went through each little atmosphere. This is in a Wild West town, and I was just soaking up the light coming through, the clouds overhead, the cold September air. It was truly just a magnificent experience. And now, and this is why it's so good that I do this exercise every day, I realize that that's what I will be seeking after in Japan, are those, because Japan is full of those in abundance. My wife, she's just sending me snapshots every day of Mount Fuji, the view of Fuji from our front door of our apartment on the 5th floor. And it's just spectacular. So I'll spend my mornings from 4 a.m. to half the day at home, perhaps taking care of all the attendant business I mentioned earlier. Although maybe I'll go down to the local shrine to do my good life meditation or take a walk up the little valley of Yara to hear the water flowing through the creek. But then in the afternoon, perhaps I'll seek after moments like yesterday, moments that are really the good use of time. That's one of my objectives, right? Is the good and effective use of my time. Yesterday was really good use of my time. So yeah, yesterday was a spectacular day. What a day it would have been to have died yesterday and have fulfilled life on that note. Wow. Does it sound like I'm eager for death? No, I'm not. I want to stay around as long as possible, but I do realize that death will insinuate itself into my life, possibly at an unexpected moment. And what a way to go out yesterday would have been. Sorry for the sipping. Okay, so that was yesterday. And then I came home and I had a nice evening with the dogs. I actually watched TV last night, something I rarely do. I watched the show that I'm watching, the South Korean drama it's taking me like 3 months to finish because I only watch like 5 minutes at a time. All right. And I slept good. As for the creed, my 8 objectives, and I did forget one yesterday. I forgot number 7, which is the to do things one thing at a time, slowly, deliberately, and carefully. Here they are. Number 1, to be always ready to die. 2, to make good and effective use of time. 3, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions. 5, to perform good actions. 6, to recognize my true limits and true opportunities. 7, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. And then 8, to keep my balance in both body and mind. What are you doing? Coming up on the... He knows it's time for me to make my breakfast. He likes to get little snacks, scraps. What is it? Baby, what is it? So that's that. Am I ready for death? I already talked about I didn't talk about my plan for today, did I? So today I'm going to finish this, upload this, go through my list of stuff. That'll take me a couple of hours to do, depending on how good I do it. Then I'll take the boys out. I think I might take them down to Temecula. It's cool enough now. Maybe take them to a nice park they like to walk in. And then come home and have an evening. Am I ready for death? Are my affairs in order? Yes. Are my relationships sound? Yes. Is my life's work complete? Yes. So I guess I am. I don't want to go today, but if today's the day, then so be it. All right. I wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Rudy, Ollie, say hi. Okay. Yeah. Let's have some breakfast for me. Bye-bye.